Now, I did have a conversation. His name's Travis Mash, one of the greatest power lifters that has lifted, probably top 10 all time. I work with some of his lifters. He's at Lenore Ryan University in Hickory, North Carolina. He is now coaching Olympic style weightlifters and the two-time national champion. So I interviewed him on this whole idea of what does it take to be great? Like, how do you achieve greatness? And one of the things that in that interview that I did with him that stood out to me is he said, nobody becomes great until you learn to master the mundane. He's like, I've not seen a champion yet that hasn't learned to master the mundane. And that just goes back to practice. There's times where you love your training. There's times where training goes really well. And there's other times where practice is just routine and boring and you don't feel like doing it. But you have something intrinsically that just pulls you through.
So, like, I don't know, let's just use like baseball as an example.
Baseball's a great example.
The mundane may be really focusing on taking, you take ground, if you're a shortstop and you're going to do drills of like, grounders, hard hit grounders, whatever. I guess the mundane, you have to do that. And it's probably on a checklist of every practice we're going to do it.
Right.
But it's really approaching it, I want to get better.
Yes.
And even if you don't get better because you already are an elite shortstop, the idea is that you can't convince yourself to believe that, right? Like somehow I'm going to be better today. And it's Tuesday, and we are doing ground balls. Baseball season's a long time.
Right.
Somehow I need to really focus in on this drill, the full sequence of practice,
right,
to see if I can get myself better or just maintain my level of exceptionalism type thing.
Right. So Kobe Bryant, that's a famous story with him. He wanted to work on his 3-point shot. So one summer he would shoot 1,000 3-pointers a day, every day, over a summer. So let's just hypothetically say that was June, July, August, or July, August, September, whatever that is.
Right.
It's that target on the wall that says, that's what I need to do. And then you're willing to make the sacrifice to do it. So even, let's say you're an elite shortstop, let's just Mike Trout, elite outfielder, 5-tool baseball player. When he's doing his drills, and this is a Rogerism, right? This is just me looking outside on him. Whatever he's working on is intentional. So like there's never this complacency. So like it may look like I've shagged 100 fly balls today, but every single one of those fly balls had intention around it. What was I working on? Where do I need to get better? What were the drills I was doing? So it's not the routineness of going through it. There's intention behind it. And the great ones are always seeing what they can't do.
Yeah.
And it's that relentless drive to just continue to get 1% better.
Yeah.
Year in, year out, maybe day in, day out, maybe month, whatever their metric is.
Sure.
But it's that kind of thing.
Let's look at the testimonials page real quick from your website.
Okay.
And I have so just for the local group here, yes, you worked with Hazel Green. That should be a familiar school to our audience. Hampton Sydney's up in Virginia. I didn't realize that's in Farmville. That's near Longwood.
Oh yeah,
right.
In fact, the head coach is an alumnus of Hampton Sydney.
Really?
For men's basketball, yeah.
So we got Bob Jones on here, represented Westminster Christian Academy. Another Bob Jones. We're gonna get down to JC. All right, there's JC right there, right? Dive coach. But I want to go down to this one from Athens High School.
Yeah, Peyton.
And I like how it starts. Let me just zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
And she says, I'm just going to read the first part. I started with Roger a few days after the fall season kicked off. I will never forget our first session because he took the time to get to know me as a person before we even started.
Right.
From the beginning, I had some thought that he might actually be able to help me with my hitting. So there's that aspect of...
and Peyton would be like thrilled that you read this.
Oh, really?
I'll be honest with you. She's like one of the best clients I've had.
Really?
And I think she's a sophomore this year at Athens High School. She ate it up. She was just amazing.
So what are you looking for in particular when you have that one-on-one? And I think there's another graphic I've seen where you have a one-on-one with the parents, the one-on-one with in a way with the teams or the coach, kind of every potential entity involved that's
Right.
important. You're spending that time in a kind of a one-on-one. But with an athlete, in this case with Peyton,
Right.
what does that look like? What are you trying to kind of elicit from that?
The first thing I'm going to really look at is an open mind. Because typically when I'm working with a client, they've reached out because they're just struggling somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell them, I say, what I do is different. You know, if you want to get stronger in the weight room, what do? I can go grab a barbell, right? I can physically touch something. If you want to get faster, maybe you'll go to a track and work on. So you can physically go do something. I'm a strength and conditioning coach for your mind. So everything we're working on is between your ears. It's how you feel. It's how you manage emotion. It's how you think. And it's different. So I do this little exercise. You guys can do it with me. Just kind of take your hands like this and just close like that.
Okay, I'll do that. There we go.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what thumb? You know, my left thumb is over my right thumb.
My right is over my left.
You're right?
I'm right.
Okay, so you're right. You got the right? Yeah, so that means the people with right over left are more intelligent. No, I'm lying. I don't know
man.
that. I just made that up.
We're
But okay, so you see your thumb placement? Okay, take your hands apart.
yeah.
Now reverse that. Do the opposite thumb.
Okay.
What'd
Feels a
that-
little different.
What'd that feel like?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, right?
Less natural.
It's less natural. It's weird. And I say that's just exactly what it's going to feel like. It's exactly what it's going to feel like. At times it may feel disingenuous. So when I talk about mindfulness and just breathing techniques, visualization, mental rehearsal, I'm like, it's different. Because everybody thinks I just got to be bigger, faster, stronger to get better at my sport.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if you ask any athlete, what percentage of your sport's mental? They're like 80 to 90%. I'm
Right.
like, how much time do you dedicate to that during a week? So I'll actually break down with the team. Okay, how much time are you spending in the weight room? Oh, 4, 8, 12 hours a week. Okay, how much time are you on the practice field? They give me some incredible number, like probably 2 hours a day. And we just add it up. I'm like, that's a lot of hours. Now, what are you doing mentally? What are you doing to prepare yourself mentally? And it's usually like 0.
Right.
So,
Or they don't even know what
excuse me.
sort of drill or thing they could do to work mentally, right?
Right. So coming back to your question about like Peyton, it was somebody that has an open mind, willingness to try something different, willingness to try something new, and trust the process a little bit. You know, and that's typically where even teams are like that. So there can be some skepticism at first, but open mind, willingness to try something different,
Yeah.
trust the process a little bit. Give me a little wiggle room here to do some weird stuff with you guys. Weird stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And let's see where it goes. But that open mind and willingness to try something different is usually the differentiator.